Welcome back to Let's Play StarTropics.
You make an ass out of you and me.
If this dungeon wasn't hard enough, this is our second time through it.
I forgot to turn my mic on.
Yeah, good times.
Oh well, it won't drive you that crazy.
Who's crazy? I'm not crazy. You're crazy.
Especially you, Nappa. Hey.
Okay, so when you come in this dungeon, you would normally just run straight ahead and go, alright, I'm gonna keep going ahead into that room. But as it turns out, the camera pans to the right.
We should totally not panhandle that way.
Yeah, I'll get back to that in a second. Because if you do go up, there's rats.
Are there geodudes too?
The vermin.
Or are you expecting Zubats to show up as well?
Zubats, probably. Okay, kill them, the top door opens up, and normally you'd go, okay, we're supposed to go into the top door. Top door, empty room. It's a tiny, empty room, nothing in it. So you just turn around and come back here and go, well, what do I do now? There is a secret over here, where you can look over. You can't actually get over there, though, so... Well, you have a hint.
Feels kind of dickish that they don't let you do that.
Yeah, but this game has made bigger moves. Honestly, by this game's standards, I consider that a helpful hint.
Yeah, well,
a helpful tip.
Considering the first dungeon had that death room after your second potion room, it's been kind of downhill from here.
So, you come in here, and as I said, the camera pans to the right because you can go through here. Now, the camera panning is nice, because they could have made it so you wandered over and it actually just cut to a different screen, and you just had to, like, head bash the wall until you found the hole. But they do give you the hint of the camera panning, so that's kind of nice. And that's where this level being nice ends.
Just at the beginning. Sounds kind of like a lot of games.
Rat. Okay, so kill them rats. Give you 2 hearts right at the start, just in case you needed 2 hearts, I guess.
Might as well take them. It's probably the only generosity you'll get. Minus the swords! Coming out of the ground!
I think there's only... No, there's 2! Mike, you fool! Mike, you fool! You're supposed to jump over the water! Oh my goodness, jump over the water!
I'll make it for the door, Mike!
I'm not asking for much!
Who put swords in the ground?
Okay, so you get the shuriken now that I've embarrassed myself in the first room and probably doomed myself for the rest of this dungeon. You come into this room, there are a lot of snakes. You get this shuriken, and when you throw the shuriken, 2 shurikens fly out. And I actually had a really rough time getting through this dungeon because it took me 3/4 of the way through the dungeon to realize...
Real quick, notice how all the snakes are positioned.
They're trying to teach you something.
It's something important with the shuriken that you got.
They didn't teach me very well, but they're trying to teach you something. Which is that this shuriken, when I first...
Maybe it's just because you suck as a student.
Maybe. I went through 3/4 of this dungeon. Just posing at me over there.
Intimidatingly posing at you.
But I went through 3/4 of this dungeon before I figured this out, and it has changed drastically how I make my way through this dungeon. This shuriken, when you throw it, throws out 2 shuriken, and they will just fly forward. If you hit the button a second time, it splits.
Yeah, ninja tricks. Get that heart. Get that heart before it disappears. Get it!
I'm getting that heart!
Get it!
Okay, I don't think any of these buttons do anything.
No.
But you never know.
This is one of those rooms that you had to kill everything.
I don't know, maybe I step on one, the heart will show up. I like hearts.
Death.
The thing just turns into a pit.
Like Death from Castlevania shows up.
Oh, hi.
Hi, later.
Okay, this room, again, fun room, and a room I had a lot of fun with, not knowing that the shuriken split. But yeah, you can kill them, and then kill the 2 of them. Now, because this spike ball is the one that you hit.
If you remember the little balls from the previous dungeon, not previous, but the one before that.
Yeah, it's a couple
back.
Yeah.
Yeah, the pirate one.
You hit it, and it bounces up and down the room.
Except this one is spiked.
Yeah.
Because spikes mean more evilness.
Yeah. So, like, I was trying to, like...
Yeah, you were trying to bait the snakes.
Trying to, like, juke them up. And then, like, I had to run up and try to get the top two to go over and move and hit and dodge while the spike ball's flying back. It was fun, let me tell you. And most of that was very easily solved by doing that.
By shurikens and ninja tricks.
Good old shurikens.
Hey, flies.
Flies. Flies really aren't that big a threat, but they can catch you off guard. Mostly you just need to remember with when dealing with the flies that
They seem to kind of like fly around and then come for you at a V shape.
Well, if one was, say, up diagonally to my left, flying at me from the left, if I move this way 2 blocks, I will get hit by them. So you want to, if you have any intention of hitting them, you want to, if they're coming at me from the left, I have to move to the right and then turn around and hit them. I've been hit by them more times than necessary that way.
You mapped it out in your head.
Yep.
Hey, hearts.
I like hearts, and that's just enough to max out my health. Thank goodness we've now completely recovered from my dummy mistake earlier, dodging around those dumb spikes.
Swords.
Swords.
They were swords. Like, those are straight up swords.
Giant blade. Now, these guys really aren't that hard, especially if you can get on their level. Crap. That worked somehow. Oh, now you're down there. Whatever.
Now that they're below your level, they've leveled down.
Bats!
Oh no, you've taken half a heart damage.
Dumb bats?
You dumb player, you. Who enjoys killing those things?
Okay, these guys, I don't know what the... Oh, gee.
Oh.
I can't attack!
They're anti-fairies.
I've never been hit by one of them, so I didn't know what they did, but they're anti-fairies. They stop you from attacking for the duration of your blink. So that's good news.
I thought they were Zelda-esque. They give you even more hearts and relaxing theme music.
Now take note from here that there is no path over there parallel to this one. So if I loop around here and jump up, I die.
You drown. Just glub to glub.
There's a secret right there, though. And if you are so inclined...
More secrets!
More secrets. Found a pet. A little jerk. You have to walk around the long way.
Oh boy! A room with treasure. If only my legs weren't broken from falling in.
That gives us a much-needed potion and more ninja stars, because you use them a lot in this dungeon.
I kind of noticed that the further the game gets, the more likely it wants you to use the items it has.
In specific places, too.
Yeah.
Like, earlier on, I know somebody was yelling at me, going like, hey, you should use the items more, you should use the baseball bat more. The yo-yo worked fine for the baseball bat. The baseball bat really only let me attack diagonally, and there weren't a lot of situations where I needed that.
I mean, there probably were, but you could handle them differently.
But, like, by this point in the game, you need to frickin' use those shurikens, man, because fudge this stuff.
Like in this next room!
With a Claydol!
Man.
Claydol's kind of big. He also doesn't like your noise. Oh, you can't hit him that way. You want to attack him top to bottom if you can.
Because if he's on the same grid as you, he likes to go, whoops. Also, don't let him touch you. He'll do massive damage.
Yeah, I figured that one out the hard way.
When you were left with
like 2 hearts after hitting him.
And I do not joke. He touched him once, and he went down to 2 hearts.
I'm trying not to waste shuriken, so I'm trying to hit him with both.
Yeah. Well, I don't think it counts as 2 if you throw them as 1. It's like 2 pair counts as 1 set.
Oh, well, in that case, I guess I'll just keep doing this. Because that's way safer.
Yeah, I'm part of an ancient part of Japanese culture, but I've been turned into a Pokemon recently, also.
Okay, let's see if I,
Nope, still screwed.
+2, yeah!
Yeah! No, freeze frame!
Okay, nothing in here trying to kill me.
Oh, hey, but you made it out without having to get hurt, so...
Yeah, thank goodness.
You get free hearts. Even more free hearts. I'd ask why you're getting the free hearts, but hey, fuck it at this
I like
point.
hearts. Oh!
Even your heart?
I like it a lot more if it was inside of me.
Oh, okay. How about my heart? Can I have it back?
Well, everyone, we've lost Ogre.
You can have my heart.
Now, you may recall this room
Not in the sexual
from before.
sense.
This room you may recall encountering before. The main difference is that spike ball is 1 block lower than it was in the previous room.
Yay.
Yeah. Which means...
Jump. Jump.
Ah, I made it. Okay.
If only you had cleats, maybe you could slide.
God dang it! Son of a gun! Crap, it's these guys.
It's mudmen.
Okay, I'm just gonna kill this guy real quick.
Be careful, they may drain your MP.
And then I can actually stop and talk to you about him.
Yeah, this time you don't look around and go like, what are you doing?
And then get hit by one.
Always come in pairs. So
Yeah, so that's
two.
that's great. So I killed one, second one spawned, effectively. But those guys will just kind of move along the ground horizontally towards you. When they hit a wall, they'll stop, pop out of the wall, shoot at you, pause for a second, and then shoot at you again as they disappear. I died to these guys legit like 8 times, learning how to deal with them. And I think that's another thing with the difficulty in this game is, like, after you learn it, it's not crazy hard. It's still hard as poo.
It's still hard as balls.
It's still hard as poo.
You're welcome.
Okay. But you've got to die like a crazy number of times to learn what to do.
Yeah, and that's where that continuing is painful.
Yeah, because like,
comes in
when you
badly.
die, you go back to either the beginning or a checkpoint with 3 hearts, and honestly, you're not
no
getting
items.
Yeah,
So.
and no items. So honestly, you're not getting anywhere from that. And like, yes, some games do that, like R-Type, say, when you die, you lose all your power-ups. And
Zelda, it would stick you with 3 hearts if you die.
well, I'll get to that. But like R-Type does that, but
no.
well, R-Type does that, and so when you like die in R-Type, you might as well just reset the game. But if you are gonna reset the game, no big deal, because the game's pretty short. So you can do that. Zelda, you're not gonna start the whole game over when you die once. That'd be silly. The game's way too long. But you can do something. You can do things like farm enemies.
Playing Ocarina of Time, die in the first dungeon. Well, reset.
Yeah, but you can do things even in the original Zelda where you like go farm enemies. Like usually where you spawn, you can either leave the dungeon or from the beginning out on the field, go out and kill very simple enemies and get your health back. You cannot do that in this game because the enemies are either jerks or drop hearts so rarely that you're better off just plowing ahead anyway and hoping the dungeon gives you a heart.
They're very stingy. It's like one monster dies and it could drop a heart and go like, I'm going to keep this with me.
I feel like this game...
This is definitely a game that needed a lot more polish to it, but it's still playable.
Yeah, I feel like this game would have gone a lot better, difficulty-wise. Like, I understand the game is a very difficult game, and honestly, you can't really hold that against the game, because back in the day, like in the NES era, that's just how games were.
Yeah.
So you can't really hold that against the game, but I do think how it handles that difficulty could be improved.
And
Crap, these guys are back! Okay, I'm gonna wait over here.
But this time there's 2 sets of them. Which means there's more of them. Blah, 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 blah. And now
Okay,
means there's only 1 of them left. Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah! So yeah, there were 4 of them total there. 2 of them would attack you at the same time, so...
Also, it's best if you have the shooting star there, because the yo-yo you have to get in closer, and they take, like, 2
hits with the yo-yo, whereas this kills him 1 shot and has longer range.
Yeah.
So good news. I think the one...
Swords. Hey, hearts! Swords!
I think the one big thing... You know what? What's those hearts?
Aw.
I think the one biggest thing this game could have done to make the difficulty more manageable, even in its like NES difficulty era, I think the one thing it really could have done was just make hearts easier to get.
Yeah.
Like, make a room very near a checkpoint. For one, make hearts drop more often, because fudge that noise.
You really think they would have put the potion over in this room?
Yeah, you'd think.
I'll get you in a second. Wait, don't go through the door. Oh, thank God, I thought...
So, like, I mean, for one, make hearts drop more often.
You know, as funny as it is, I should stop giving enemies personalities, because then people would get attached to them a little bit.
Like, I say, for one, get rid of the stars entirely. Just
Yeah, they should have done that.
Just drop hearts. And from there, probably do something like...
If they gave you stars because it's StarTropics, no.
Yeah, and then from there, I feel like try to put a room near a checkpoint that you could go in and out of to farm hearts back. I think that alone would have made the difficulty a lot more manageable. It would have been annoying to have to, like, farm your health back and everything every time.
Buddy, we're gonna invite... Oh, he left the party.
Yeah, it would be annoying, but it would be, like, playable.
Kind of weird they're giving you a free potion.
Yeah, I have 2 potions now.
I feel you should be worried. And more shurikens.
And
I feel
more
you should
shurikens.
be worried and ready to use the shurikens.
Yep.
Because now it's a double battle.
Double Claydols!
Better use that surf move.
Wee.
Gotta take out those Claydols in one shot if you can. Now, I actually hated these guys because when I first played StarTropics, it was around the same time I had Dragon Quest III. And like really late into Dragon Quest III, like Final Dungeon-esque area. They had these enemies that were based off the same thing these things are.
Crap.
And they were not nice to you in parties. They used a lot of sacrificial magic. And when I mean sacrificial magic, I mean they used them like sacrifice.
Oh, shoot!
That blew them up and took out your party with you.
That really frickin' hurt!
Kind of like that, yeah. Hey, victory music. I
Thank
like victory
goodness.
music.
That means we're done with the dungeon. That was the boss. And we can finally get out of here.
Just kidding, more boss.
Yep. You saw the straight passage, but somewhere along the line up here is a secret passage.
To a treasure chest!
To a treasure chest!
Just tumbles over it.
And somewhere is a button that opens it. There it is.
Hey, I found a button. Isn't there more button in here? Ah,
Ah, I found it! I didn't hit the button that button last time. It's around here somewhere. There it is. Like, I will say...
And now you have 2 potions for boss.
Yeah.
And now you know how to deal with boss. Oh, wait. Oh, okay, yeah. You got the shurikens.
I will say, this dungeon is a lot harder than I'm making it look. Because the first time I ran through this dungeon in testing, I died like 40 times.
Yeah,
It was...
testing.
Yeah. It was not even remotely fun. I'm like screaming at it and yelling at it and going, "What do you want from me, game?" Not good times. The first recording we did, which was scrapped, I also nearly died, and I got this far with, like, no potions and, like...
And you ended up leaving with, like, 2.5 hearts.
Yeah, I beat the dungeon with, like, 2.5 hearts and no potions.
This time you were getting to the boss with...
This time I know how to fight the boss, and I have 2 potions, so I'm probably, crossing my fingers, probably not going to get hit at all.
Knock on wood.
Yeah. So,
Who
that's
is
going to
it?
be great.
Murder! Sorry, the bosses came out early.
Yeah.
They weren't waiting for you anymore.
And that's the amount of learning.
Do you like peanuts? We love peanuts!
That's the amount of learning that goes into this, though. But that's what you do. Right now I'm technically standing on a safe spot.
Safe spot from the left one, not
from
the right
the left one, not the right one. So what I'm doing here is really just waiting for the right one to pause and not shoot. Because if I try to time my shots and, like, look up at the top of the screen and make sure, okay, it's lined up at the top so I can do the thing now, I'm gonna get hit down here.
Also, at this point, you should hopefully have a lot of shurikens, because I don't think you can really do it with yo-yo.
Yeah,
you probably could, but, be hard.
Yeah, they did give you the shurikens just before the fight, though.
I think they gave you enough to take out the bosses, too. More peanuts for you, Mike. We know you're allergic to them.
My peanut allergies. Man, that fire was in the way. Fire blocks your shots.
Have more peanuts that we've pre-chewed.
Yeah, killed one.
No, my brother. I've only known him for 3,000 years.
Which means if I hop over to this point now, I can't get hit at all.
We just got to reconcile with each other. Enjoy your peanuts.
Well, you can reconcile with each other in the afterlife.
That would have been more intimidating if you did that as you killed me.
Yeah, well, tough cookies. I don't know how many hits you take.
Ah, there I go.
Yeah.
Now remember to use one of your potions before you leave so you have full health.
Good point. Doing it now.
And then you just jump into the water.
I'm gonna save that other potion.
Yep, save that.
Down in the water.
Hey, what's that skull? I bet it's worth something.
I forgot I can't swim.
I'm a suburbanite kid. Why can't I swim?
Wow, you've done it.
You've killed two brothers that just reconciled with each other that also like to shoot peanuts at you.
Well, up theirs.
Well,
what if I have a peanut allergy?
They were reconciling with each other, not you.
That is a
didn't
fair
ca-
point.
Yeah, they didn't necessarily care for you. They just cared to shoot peanuts at you.
Whatever. Until next time, everyone. We talked a fair bit about the difficulty in this game, and I feel like there's not a lot more we really need to cover on that.
Because
but,
the next dungeon will show it to you perfectly.
Yeah. Regardless, the game's hard.
Still lovable. It's hard, but it's still
I can
lovable.
see why it's the cult hit that it is. That doesn't mean I especially enjoy playing it, but
Yeah.
I can see why. And I think the biggest folly of this game is that there's a whole lot of learning involved, and a whole lot of dying over and over while you learn.
Schools would suck if they did that to you. What's 2 + 2? 3. Wrong.
And the
How about
punishment,
you, Sally? 5? Nope. Enjoy your peanut allergies.
And given that there's so much death by learning, which in and of itself isn't necessarily bad, but given that the punishment for death is
A little
rough.
severe. Yeah.
Yeah, and there's no real way to recover from it. So I think even just making that punishment for death a little less severe, maybe making hearts more common, give you a place to farm hearts, I don't know, respawn you with full health. I don't know. Whatever, though. Until next time.
Enjoy your peanuts.
Ah!